Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, is brought to you by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need. And by AP Laser, leading the way.
Thanks for coming along for the ride here on Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. Now, if you've seen our show before, there's a good chance you might have seen Clamptite here before, and you might have seen this handsome face here, Kevin. Folks ask me about the Clamptite tool all the time, and they say, well, I don't really need one because I'm not a mechanic or I don't work on my car that much, but there's so many other uses for the Clamptite tool. What kind of things can we use it for around the house?
Absolutely. So like just your garden hoses, it actually makes a true 360 seal all the way around. You can actually apply your sprayers and nozzles on without cutting your hands all up. These that come with the repair kit, I mean, they're terrible. They don't get real tight. You have that flat spot there, so you're always leaking. And try to put a sprayer or a nozzle on that, you're going to cut your hand all up. So.
And I have never used a regular hose clamp without cutting myself.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah.
100%. Plumbing applications, if you're a little more handy.
Your RVs and things like that, you got that soft rubber. These clamps are notorious for cutting into those. It's not pressure-wise, but nobody wants that leak in their RV. It's just terrible. So it's a nice, clean 360 seal again, so you're not going to have that problem.
Other application out here on the farm, maybe you've got a fence post or something to repair.
You don't have to take the whole post out. You can just fix it. It's cracked right here. You just put our clamp around it. You're good to go. Put your fence back up.
You do a lot of shows. You go to aviation shows, you go to automotive shows. What are some of the questions you get from the folks visiting your booth?
So hose clamps are still hose clamps. Those worm-fed clamps, they have the flat spots. The material they're made with are cheaper and cheaper. They got more tin in them, but they're also costing more money. They're more expensive, but they're not holding better. So a lot of times you'll have to use two clamps just to get one to work. Ours gives you that true 360 seal. So things like air hoses, to try to crimp that, that's, again, it's the same problem as you have in your air hose. You're trying to run your hand over top of that. That's terrible. You're going to cut your hand all up. So just a much better fix. Boosts and turbos is the most that we hear all the time, blowing off air intakes, and this is your solution for that.
Why is the Clamptite tool so much stronger than a traditional hose clamp?
It's all about getting that true 360 seal all the way around. When you have your air intake, that air gets underneath your clamp, pops it up. That's why you're losing boost. This, you can't have that. So it's just a better, much better seal, and it's all, we're using all stainless steel wire, so there's no weak spot there. So that's why it's a better clamp.
Well, we know what the Clamptite tool could do. Let's see how it actually works. Back here on the Motorhead Garage Jeep. Now, Nikki, this had a traditional hose clamp on it when it came in, and getting it off demonstrated why traditional hose clamps are a pain.
They're a pain in the butt. They're going to strip out if you try to get this thing off. It's going to end up eventually blowing off anyway because it's not a stainless steel clamp.
With the Clamptite clamp, you can actually put that back over if you want that original look.
Totally, if you did. Now, this is a traditional worm gear. I'd just kind of get rid of that completely. But if you want the original look, you know, the old tower clamps and things like that, you can totally just pull that right over top of our clamp and finish off the look if that's what you wanted to do.
Still look like the original at a car show or something like that.
Exactly. But you know it's being held properly underneath because you're getting a true 360-degree seal with no flat spots like you would get with a traditional clamp. So.
And let's talk about getting that Clamptite wire on there.
Yeah, so basically what you're going to do is you measure around your project 4 times and add 12 inches. So that gives you enough wire to actually do a double wrap clamp. And anything you're running any type of pressure under, you kind of want to go around 2 times. So that's what we did. We just bent the wire in half, fed it through. You want to make sure you're not cross or twisted. You know, what's nice about this is the little bit of lubrication actually helps on those gummier hoses as well, so it just kind of makes it easier to move. So, and then you just attach the tool, wrap it around the pins, then we just tighten it down with that loop and the notch. Once it's tight too, and if it feels like you're not sure, you know, power everything up, turn it on, pressurize it, see if you have a leak. If you do, you're gonna hear it, so you just tighten it down till the leak stops. Now you're ready to finish this clamp and finish it off. So what we're gonna do, since we actually have the overhead, I'm gonna flip this 180 degrees. If you were in a tighter space, you could just go past 90, but since I've got the room, you're gonna loosen that, pop that tool away, and then just get in here with your cutters. You wanna go in about 1/4 inch or so, and you can always trim that up later. Now, of course, those are sticking up, so they're a little sharp, but you're gonna push these down. Now, when I do that, what I'm doing is I'm work hardening that wire. I'm stretching that wire into a permanent clamp. That's not gonna shake loose, vibrate off. That's gonna stay right there. Hose will probably wear out before the clamp does.
Well, for a custom clamp like that fits every application, you can find them at ClamptiteTools.com. You got to get one of these. These are great. We will return with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com. Stay tuned.